What's up, guys? It's Mr. Javin, and today, look at this consistency. I want to say this is the third day in a row. Third. But, man, I love life, man. And I do love each and every one of you guys. And I miss y'all. I miss y'all in the comments. I should upload more frequently. But today we have week 6. Week 6 of the Academy Premier League. We got a Gen 8 game, so a tier that I'm a little more familiar with. And so let's get into this well-written, what do you call it, trailer. There we go, from JG himself. Sometimes life isn't always straightforward. When something unexpected happens, it's a good time to stop and reevaluate. MyJava and Shooriken have a battle that's anything but standard. But you see great value assessment once the sets are more known. Always keep your end goals in mind in each battle and in life. Guys, this is not just a Pokemon battle. This is the game of life you're about to. I got nothing. What the fuck am I talking about? Let's get into this game. But nah, there's probably wisdom in this game, and hopefully it's applied elsewhere. So we got MyJava, very unique teams with the Victini, Lele situation. But why did I think Lele had psychic terrain for a sec? I don't know why. Well, it does. I'm tripping. Yes, it does. You can tell that there's. I literally forgot Lele's ability because I'm like, why did I think it had psychic terrain with expanding force? But it does have the. Wow, I need to play some games. I forgot Lele's ability. It's great things coming y'all's way. Oh man, I love life. This is a very weird team on Shoorikens, and I've never seen anything quite like this, and I'm excited to see what comes about. Immediately, I can do a brief assessment. I guess, off jump, I can see Shooriken, because of the might of his rock types. The only rock resist Java has is Ferrothorn, and that can easily be clapped by Tyrantrum, just predicting it one time in close combating, or Fire Fanging, or whatever he has, or maybe he's not even choiced, or Gigalith doing something other than Stone Edge, or he goes for the Stone Edge. But the Ferrothorn defensively is quite problematic, so I'm curious to see how those two will coordinate. And because this Chansey is just chilling, it's actually the bane of, well, not necessarily. Lele actually just crunches his team with Psyshock. Like, literally 2 kills everything on his team with Psyshock. So, if it's specs. So, I'm curious to see who comes on top here. It could go either way, but because the sets are so odd and the team structures are so odd, yeah, his 2 rock types are going to have to do the heavy lifting here. I don't see Extra Drill, or if it's a weird Lando like Swords Dance, it could do work. And on the opposing end, those 2 psychic types can do a lot of work, but more so Specs Lele. So let's get into it. I'd imagine Landorus would come out. Landorus has to be Shooriken's lead, no doubt. It literally intimidates 5 of his physical attackers, and then the big bad Chansey, while unaffected by Intimidate, only has Seismic Toss and Toxics to offer, which is a free switch into that Ferrothorn. So, has to be a Lando lead here. And I'd imagine an opposing Lando. I can't see anything. 2 Landos are coming out. I put money on it. What? Gigalith? I knew he'd had to lead Lando. Telepathy. Gigalith is interesting, because I know Shooriken knew he'd lead Lando, so this Gigalith must have something in stored, or he just figured, one, I'm gonna prioritize getting the stand up, and I'll figure it out after the fact. So we might see a Landers come in here. Okay, so that's the route he's taking. He just wanted the stand up, which is interesting because, and I understand his EQ play there. So Shooriken actually ends up like in a far better position. His Landers is not intimidated. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's far better. It is, but in the sense of Java got no value out of that turn. So it is some strange Lando, which makes sense. Yeah, Java got no value. Fly. Very surprised he let Ferrothorn get hit. Okay. So remember we just discussed about the rock types. that Tyrantrum on switch and that Gigalith clicking Stone Edge, it's a free kill. I'm assuming that Landers, that Zapdos is very defensive. Otherwise, he could have gone to it there. It's unless this. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be so. He could have Stone Edge as well. He could have, played to the static, and then switch around. But I guess he doesn't want to do that. Right? Like he could have done what he just did with Zapdos, because Zapdos is trash in this game. I mean, it helps with the Dragonite, but Landorus' fly would have done nothing if it's defensive. If it's not, you outspeed and threaten and can risk a static. So I think he should have went Zapdos there. He would have taken less than half, risk static, then pivoted to the Landorus, because I'm assuming the Landorus has toxic gravity, so that's his other move, which means he can't fly, can he? I mean, that works. So Zapdos is dead. Very interesting how he's playing the Zapdos. Very cool sets. Very, very cool. This Lander's a problem. So yeah, I figured Lele was faster than the Lando, which is why I was thinking he could have just played it. Okay, never mind. I thought he may have been like, okay, well, I'm modest Lele, I can't just kill him. But it seems to be the case. So Psyshock coming out here. Yeah, like you obliterate. He's Scarf. That's a crit then. Pretty sure Specs does. A crit Specs would have done more than that, because based on how much that does. Oh, well, with Sandstorm it kills. Yeah, so now you can just Psychic freely. Well, so maybe that's why he played like that, because he wasn't confident. So this drill is 100% going for. Well, it doesn't matter what the drill goes. You always go Landers here. It's irrelevant, really. Yeah, the drill has to EQ. It's probably Sand Force. As you U-turn out here. Yep, excellent. If the Lele was Specs, it'd be a bloodbath here. Oh, maybe it is. 68 from Scarf, maybe modest Scarf. I just expected more from the Psyshock to the Chansey. So now he's in a position of power because the Lando is still at full. The Ferrothorn, well, the Lando is not at full, but the Ferrothorn. Actually, it might have been better to. Probably didn't expect to be Sand Force. It might have been better to sack the Ferrothorn or the Tyranitar. To the drill on the EQ turn and then go to Landers at full in hindsight. Yeah, T-Tar offers almost no value. It does help with the Dragonite in case, but so I get the logic there. Goes hard Lando over Ferrothorn. Well, I guess he intimidates U-turns. Oh, EQs. I disagree with that. If this Landers gets trashed, you're at the mercy of those grounds. But he only has one gravity user left, so I suppose you can stall it out. Because if he explodes here, oh no. I mean, your Lando is alive, but again, you could have just U-turned out into Ferrothorn. Because now this drill is about to go on a rampage and kill every Pokemon on your team. Destruction. Well, it's 3 turns of destruction. I suppose you can intimidate and flip around and flip-flop around. Curious as to what the Tyrantrum is, because if it's Scarfed, it's another bloodbath. I'd assume. I mean, this is OU, so it might be banded. But certainly Java could have. If he played to, like, Ferrothorn should never have taken any damage from the Landers, especially because I can tell that's max defense. That would have made a big difference versus his team. Ferrothorn did nothing in this game. This is a poor use of a Ferrothorn. Zapdos ended up getting sacked anyway, so you might as well have thrown it out into the Landers. So again, like rocky value assessment, and then obviously allowing Landers to get damaged, because Landers should be at full as well. As you're seeing, those 2 decisions are biting him down the line, especially when you determine that it was gravity. So Victini comes in. I'm curious, maybe the ice move? No? Is it Dragon Dance? CQ. Interesting. So I'm curious as to what the Tyrantrum is, because obviously this is going to die and Sandstorm wears off, so Drill is not confident. So Driller He's gonna sack Landers here, go to Victini. That was just, we'll see how he plays it out. Victini comes in because I just don't know what the Tyrantrum is, and I'm not sure what the Victini is. It could be special and blue flares. Oh, the Victini might be choice scarfed. So why would you expanding force lock? Well, you figure you're gonna leave a rock slide, so you hit 2 expanding forces, and then that's if the Tyrantrum isn't scarfed. Yeah, because you live this, hit 2 expanding forces, and then what's the play here? If he's scarfed, then you sack Lele here. Oh, he doesn't want to kill the drill. He wants Lele. Is it scarf? Could it be? Well, if it's scarf, then you didn't need to switch up moves there. Because if you just hard switch the Tyrantrum there, you'd be in the same predicament. I wonder what his other moves are. Because he has U-turn. That's the reason I'm like, well, the last move is a fire move. So Lele's at 39. Which makes sense. You want him to. So this turn he could hard switch to Tyrantrum, but he knocks you out. Wow, that is some bullshit. Which is actually hurting Java because he can now switch to Tyrantrum. Okay, wow, 3 rock slide misses in a row. That's crazy. So again, I'm one of these, or both of these have to be scarfed, because I feel like Shooriken is playing like his Tyrantrum is scarfed. Because that would be the perfect opportunity. If it's like a Dragon Dance or something like that, the perfect opportunity would have been to bring it in on the Victini's Bow Strike. If it's scarfed, then he's like, okay, I'm gonna keep this tucked because I'm scarfed. So let's see the moment of truth. Who's scarfed? Ah, destruction. I'm not certain who was what, but again, the Lele could have still been scarfed, but it's modest. Tyrantrum was scarfed. Definitely, I know this game was a while back, but very interesting game. I think Java could have more confidently commanded the game with a few different decisions, but you know, it's the nature of it. And again, respect the opponents that step on the field. So much respect for both players for showing up. Very entertaining game, very cool. And yeah, and I'm also curious if it was banded, then Shooriken should have leveraged that Tyrantrum far earlier in the game, because of where else is he gonna get any value from, right? So very interesting decision in how he played Tyrantrum if it's not scarfed. If it is scarfed, then I can understand the logic in saying, okay, well, I'm gonna keep it for a late game sweep, especially if Ferrothorn went down. So okay, so I'm reading the chat log now. It is scarfed Tyrantrum, so it's scarfed Lele. Okay, so his logic was, I got you. So it was scarfed. Okay, I'm not tripping about how much Side Shock did. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something, gained some wisdom. Hit the like button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.